This is emotional. I feel like I'm returning to the scene of a crime or something. Look, this is where it happened, and I just left everything here because I couldn't bring myself to come back and look at it until now. So of course, someone asked me my process. This was poured, in a loaf mold. And instead of cutting it like a normal loaf, which would have been this way, I cut it the long way to make it a little bit wider. So all of these are like 1.5. So this one is like mirrored. You can see where this and this were next to each other, but they got mirrored when I put them together. And then this one is another piece opposite of this. So like this and this are almost the same. So yeah, here's the mold that I used. It's from this company on Etsy. So yeah, I mean, it's a really cool mold. The only thing is, like, this is made for resin, so it's not like this piece right here doesn't go straight up and down. It kind of is closed. This opening is smaller than like the width of the pillars, and these are really close together, and you can see like little pieces get stuck. And that's just how the mold is made. It wasn't made for soap. It was made for like resin, or some more like sturdy material. So yeah, I actually formulated a new recipe to get these. These are like these are rock hard right now. Like, I could throw that one or this one. Like, this one is a salt bar. It's so hard. So yeah, that's how I did that. So I like take one of these. This was my backup in case, well, this one. This one is, yeah, it's two. It is 2 pieces. And I just I could not, no matter what I did, could not get this one to stick together. So I just kind of laid it down and took pictures like that. So, but yeah, so this was kind of like a backup landscape. I don't like it as much as the other ones. But yeah, so I would take this, fill up this mold. You can see where I put activated charcoal in here to get it to release. And then I would take this, flip it upside down, put it on here with the soap in it, and then let it sit until it was set, and then carefully peel it off. And as you can see, like, none of them really got all the details. Like, it definitely missed some pieces. Like this, I had a very fast moving recipe, so by the time I poured it, it already was thick enough that it didn't get into all these little teeny tiny like cracks and stuff. So there's a few pieces missing. Yeah, and even if I poured it right away, it's still, and I tapped it, and it still like formed all these bubbles, but I think it's fine because it looks like stone. Yeah, and then this green right here, This is yellow and green soap dough, and then I don't remember which tool it was, but I got some like clay sculpting tools, and I used those and just kind of like doot, 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 very carefully onto this. Also, my soap dough did not want to stick. This is a salt bar, so the texture is actually very rough, and the soap dough did not want to stick to it. It's pretty much the same with all three of these. This one actually isn't soap dough. This was from a batch of soap that I made, and it was actually from this. So I had this like lime green and black and blue, and I was like, oh hey, I can just, you can see these leaves are kind of like a lime green color. Yeah, and then this one was soap dough, all of it. Soap dough, little teeny tiny leaves, each one of them hand placed down there. Very tiny, very small details. I had to carve out all of like the insides of these. If I did this again, I would probably figure out a better way so that I didn't have to carve all of those out. Like, make sure that these had less soap on them when I put a background on top. Yeah, and then this is a piece that didn't turn out right. I made quite a few from this mold. I wanted to see if I could pour it independently without the background on it, and that didn't work at all. It just broke into pieces. So yep, that's it. Now I'm gonna clean up my mess, and yeah, hopefully, you know what? I love this though. Like, I love it. I'm gonna keep doing it. It takes forever. But next time I'll make sure to make this background wide enough. So like, you know, this size, so that it just sits on there perfectly and I don't have to try to put it together, and I can make it a little bit thicker so that they, you know, so that they stay together instead of falling apart at me. So yep, that's kind of my process on how I made these and what sort of went into it. So yeah, there it is. Time to clean up and try not to feel too bad about what happened.